Or why does this look like a double top pullback to me? But doesn't have to necessarily get all the way back up, but it can be around that range. Well, because SPY around 584, the dollar amount that it is, this means that it can actually fluctuate between around 20 to 30 to sometimes 40 cents. So what do I mean by that? Well, the fact that it's up here at 584.19 means that in theory, if that's the case, this could potentially pull back to around 583.90 to start to tell you that this is actually the top. It doesn't have to necessarily get all the way back up, right, to 584.19, but it can be around that range. And technically 584.19 is around 584. So same thing with this, technically around this 583.95, which is where it went, is technically right, 584. So we're looking for a double top around 584, and that's what this is doing right here. So what happened is it came all the way back. It hit the double top. This is where I will typically buy into puts because I love this in this spot, or I can short if you have a margin account and you want to do shares versus options. So this is what I call a double top pullback. So I love this spot. So it hits the double top, I enter my puts or I short. You can see it drove all the way back down through. It broke through the 9, it broke through the 21, and it bounced on VWAP. So this is where I will sell out these positions because it could not hold and break below VWAP. The volume weighted average price I use as a primary indicator. If it's above it, that's bullish, meaning we want to go long. If it's below it, it's bearish, meaning we want to short below that. So it bounced, it stayed above it, I get out of that trade. Now, there's a second trade that's a beautiful setup inside of this. Why does this look like a double top pullback to me? But doesn't have to necessarily get all the way back up, but it can be around that range. Well, because or I'm waiting for it to break this new level, which was pre-market low, and then I'm going to hammer to the downside again. Waiting. This is all, notice I'm literally just waiting for the perfect setup. I'm not forcing this. I'm not goofing around with it, right? I'm set up to the downside because I want to see it break support. Everything's heavy and it's telling me it's going this way. Notice I haven't bought anything. Did anybody see me click anything yet? Nope. Now look at this 9 closing in on this. I love this. Now I can enter it. Why? I'm going to wait a little bit, but now I can enter it because I'm going to put my stop above the 9. So this is now a very tight area. This is beautiful.
It's going to be pop or drop.
Yep. This thing is closing in. If it runs, I'm going to look for it to come up to this 21. If it pulls, oh, speaking of that, anybody that's not trading, can you give me the next support level on SPY?
You got a gap down to 581.
581.
581. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Thank you. That is crazy. And there goes the bounce on support. Notice no clicky, right? Not forcing this thing. Or I'm waiting for it to break this new level, which was pre-market low, and then I'm going to hammer to the downside again. Waiting. This is all, notice I'm literally just waiting for the perfect setup. I'm not forcing this. I'm not goofing around with it, right? I'm set up to the downside because I want to see it break support. Everything's heavy and it's telling me it's going this way. Notice I haven't bought anything. Did anybody see me click anything yet? Nope. Now look at this 9 closing in on this. I love this. Now I can enter it. Why? I'm going to wait. Why does this look like a double top pullback to me? Or it says a bounce zone, right, ladies and gentlemen? Isn't that support? And there's the test of the 9. Nice pullback. I got in late because I'm talking, but that's okay. That's what I was looking for. Move my stop, protect the trade. Trade is protected, free trade. I'm up another 120. Nice, 210. Moving my stop. Why? Because this is support. I'll take it. That's another $200. I'm up $1,263.25. I do it when it gets to here because if it's going to bounce, it's going to be close to here. You notice I moved those stops tight into that spot. Otherwise, I let it breathe and move, right? Not on a major level of support. Hell no. Watching for the bounce here now. Otherwise, this is going to pull hard. My 9 is closing in too on support. See my 9 moving in on this territory? I love seeing that. Need to see a break right here, and I'm going to hammer these to the downside again.
AftermarketTrading.com. Welcome. You are now in the aftermarket.
Welcome to American Dream Trading's The Aftermarket Live Chat and Watch Party. I'm your host, Dawn, aka J&J Video Reacts. And this is a stream that's been created for you traders to kick back, relax, and decompress after the market, because trading can be a stressful job and you have to treat it like a job, but it also can be extremely taxing on your emotions and the human side of things. So you got to learn how to break the cycle of being emotional when you're a trader, which is what tonight's show is about. Welcome, everybody. I see you down there, Maria. I see you down there, Joseph Paletto. X Moto, let's go! What's up, E? Crazy day. We had a lot of stuff going on today. FOMC, we had earnings, we had all kinds of, trends happening in the market. And not to mention, we had all kinds of crazy things happening in our government. So, a whole lot of things tend to move the market. But one thing you got to remember as a trader is you can't be like this with it. You can't be in emotional turmoil on top of that, because that's just going to add to the difficulty that is trading. So you got to learn how to break the cycle of emotional trading, especially when there's a lot of things going on. I got to learn how to be still. And I'm picturing how the atom looks, the circles that go around, and you are that one still thing in the middle. If you ever look at any pictures of meditation and things like that on YouTube, they'll have a person in a home position and they'll have things swirling around them, but that person is still. That's how you have to learn how to be. But we'll dig into that. First and foremost, housekeeping rules. None of us are professional financial professionals or tax advisors over here at American Dream Trading. We are strictly doing this for training and educational purposes only. And American Dream Trading was founded by Chad W. Christian, who is a 33-year stock market veteran. He has created over 11 millionaires and has retired hundreds of people through our group and his teachings. So if you want to join the group, the link to join American Dream Trading is AmericanDreamTrading.com. And you don't need to search for it because it is pinned to the top of the live chat down there. All right. All you got to do is go click that. And right now, if you do that, you can get 25% off by using code 2025. That's 2025. And you can get 25% off your first time purchase of any of our services. So go ahead and take advantage of that, because that's going to be going away really soon. January is almost over. My guess is it's probably going to be done by the end of January. So hurry up and get signed up so that you can come on board and learn the right way. We don't chase call outs over here. Coach pretty much has traded in every market condition imaginable, and he teaches us how to do the same thing. We know how to get in trades. We know how to navigate within trades with support and resistance, and we know how to exit properly. We know how to stop out losers and let runners run. All right. So if you want to learn the right way, come on over here and join. The second link is the link to come on up here and join the panel. Talk about breaking the cycle tonight. If you have had issues where you have traded emotionally, which I know all of you do, let me see a hand in the chat for anybody who has gotten caught up trading emotionally, because I know you have. Just stick a hand up there. I know you have. I know I have. Coach has. We all have, right? Because we're human beings. None of us are bots. Although there are some people in the group that I would challenge that. But in any event, we are not bots. So, we have emotions. We just got to learn how to keep them in check. You can't shut them off because it just does not work. But you can control them. You got to learn how to control them. Can't get rid of them because you're a human being, but you can learn how to control them. So if you have issues with that, or if you have suggestions on how to break the cycle, how you broke your cycle, if you're doing well with that, come on up here and talk about it on the panel. So the link is right down there. You'll see Restream in the address for the link. So it's down there. Click the link, come up on the panel, and let's chop it up tonight, talking about breaking that emotional cycle. Also, make sure that you guys are taking time to share this content out. Share it out. That's the only way people are going to know we're here. They're going to be able to come over here and learn and watch. Share it out. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, and above and beyond, to get up the algorithm, smash the like button. All of that's free. It doesn't cost you a dime to do any of that. So go ahead and take care of that for us. Right now, we are trying to get Coach to 15,000 subscribers, and we are steadily moving the chains. We are now 13,144 subscribers. Yes, way to go. We are really moving those chains, guys. Right? We have gotten quite a few subscribers just within the past couple of days. We just broke 13K, and we're already, ready to almost hit 13.2. So come on, let's get it going. We're almost at the 15K. You notice, how they say when you get older, time flies fast. The closer we get to 15K, you notice the more we're getting each day. It's like people are bought in. They want to see that happen. So they're subscribing and they're sharing it out. So let's go ahead and get there so we can get to that next plateau. Right? So good job on that. So I don't have the tip link down there tonight. I didn't have time to put it in. I'll go ahead and put that in later. But if you guys feel like I'm doing a good job, I'll go ahead and put my tip jar link in there, and you guys can throw a couple dollars in there. It's not mandatory, but it is appreciated. So I'm not going to put it in there unless you feel like I'm doing a good job. So you let me know. But right now, we want to talk about breaking that emotional chain, right? Joseph Paletto's down there. Maria's down there. Eric Smoto's down there. Who else we got down there? Just wanted to say hey. Hey, people. Hey, Diesel Dan. What's going on, brother? How are you? He says, good afternoon, ADT. Meta, huh? Yeah, Meta's crazy, man. Joe Pink is down there. What's going on, Joe Pink? What's up, D-Rock? D-Rock said, I hate how good it feels to paper trade. No hesitation, no emotion, see and react. Can't duplicate that with real money yet. You can. You just think you can't, right? The only reason that's so is because you spoke it. Think about that for a minute. The only reason that's true is because you believe it. Change your beliefs. Change those limiting beliefs, right? You can do it. You have been in here for a long time. You know exactly what you're doing. Don't buy into the lie. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. I believe in you. Papa Todd. Papa Todd, what is going on? Yep, Diesel Dan's got that blue wrench. Kyle, what's up, baby? How are you? Leonard Jones is in the house. How are you, Leonard Jones? Vegan Knowledge is in the house. What's up, sweetheart? How art thou? Rob Flow, what's going on, brother? How many O's can Eric Smoto put on Let's Go? Yeah. Damn, that's funny. I didn't even see that last one, and I looked at that, and all of a sudden, I'm like, how did he do that guy quick? Oh man, you guys heard him. Let's do it. Mikey D, Sweet Tea, what's going on? Chris D, how are you, brother? That's right. Rob said, don't forget to smash that like button. Look at our newest moderator down there with his wrench. What up, bucko? Full of sushi, walking around in Walmart. Shop faster, woman. He's got to get home. Pebbles, what's going on, my panel brother? How art thou? D-Rock said, on He said he's on the treadmill trying to read and watch. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Listen, I love the fact that we are also on the health journey in this group, right? Ange has been amazing. I want to put that out there publicly. She's been in the morning. She's always there, but in the morning, she realized my plight that working out is a part of my health journey. And she's also on her own health journey. So she said, you know what? I'll help you out, sis. So you want to work out at 6 o'clock? I'll come and I'll share my screen from 6 to 7:30 for you. You can go ahead and get your yoga and your bike ride in, and then I'll go ahead and get my workout in when you come back in. I mean, we're working like a well-oiled machine. I love it. Thank you, Ange. I appreciate you for doing that. It has brought working out back into my life. I'm able to get my endorphins and my dopamine shot in the morning. Thank you. I appreciate you. You're awesome. Paul C said, "What up, ADT?" Oh, you'll tip me, babe. You tip me every day. Hey, girl. Hey. Yeah. What up, Christina? How are you? Oh, thank you, Mikey. I appreciate you, brother. I'm the shizzle. She said, I'm the shizzle. Ange, what's good? Were your ears burning? Hi, honey. Just thanking you for your morning swap outs. You're awesome. Oh, you're tired? You know what? Eric Smoto talked about that. Get some balance in. Go get some balance, get some rest. Make sure you're getting your rest. Maria said, can you go ahead and pass some of your rest on to Ange? Jeffrey, welcome, brother. How are you? That is true. Christina actually doesn't get that much sleep. So when she gets it, she gets it. He said, Christy, but hi, tired. I'm Chris. Stop it. Hudson Miller, what's going on, brother? How is my newsroom brother? Huh? What's going on? No, I didn't ask her. Jen said, yeah, I know. Jen said that yesterday, and she said, can you ask her, can she take some of my customer service calls for me? I mean, if she's into subbing things out and helping out, ask her to come take some of these damn calls because I'm tired of them. I'm like, I don't think she wants to do that. She said, I'll give you my work login. Hudson Miller, how are you doing, Hudson? Are you green, brother? Yeah, Christina got paid today. Crazy busy. I got you. Thank you, Maria, for supporting Jen. I appreciate that. She went over there and subscribed to the channel. Showstorm, Bourbon Street terror attack. What? Now Super Bowl stuff. Yeah, crazy. Oh yeah, Jeanette. Jeanette's in the house. She wants to sleep and make money like Christina. Vegans thinking what's the name? Okay, so here's the thing. to stop trading emotionally, right? Because that's the topic of tonight's show. Breaking the cycle of emotional trading, right? Recognize triggers, guys. Recognize your triggers, right? Jot them down in your journal. When you feel like you're being triggered by something happening in the market, whether it be somebody doing a call out, whether it be you just lost some money and you want a revenge trade, right? Whether it be you think you see a setup and you're not sure, but you're like, I'm going to get in early anyway because I think this is what's going to happen, but you're not 100% sure. Identify triggers that make you get emotional and make you act on that emotion when you're trading, right? Recognize triggers. Today I jumped in because coach called this out 10 times, but I did it without looking at the chart first. I did it just because he called it out. Today I was pissed because I lost $200 in a SPY trade. So I immediately jumped back in when it went against me. And then because I didn't chart, I lost another 200 because it immediately reversed and went back the other way that I was originally. How many times that happened to people, right? What are your triggers? Write them down. That's one way to break the cycle. Recognizing triggers as they're happening, stepping back for a minute and said, "Ah, shit, I'm triggered right now. I'm triggered. I'm triggered. Let me stop. Let me put my hands behind my, but let me sit on my hands because I'm feeling a trigger right now. Recognize it. Don't feel. Look, who's watching you? Nobody. So nobody's gonna say, who are you talking to? What, like, are you talking to yourself? Who cares? Even if they do see, who cares? This is something that can change your life, right? If you get this right, look at the potential. So who cares who thinks you're crazy, right? Listen, a lot of millionaires are very eccentric. People think a lot of them are crazy, right? Look at Michael Jackson and Prince and a lot of those guys. Look at Mr. T, right? People, because they're geniuses. They don't care what people think. You got to learn how to take that on, right? So talk to yourself. When you recognize a trigger, say, "Hey, Dawn, whoa, I'm feeling a trigger right now. I am feeling triggered. Let me stop." Jen will tell you she hears me doing it all the time, right? I'm triggered. Let me stop. So identify triggers. Ding, that's one, right? Practical steps to breaking the cycle, right? We've got journaling, right? Coach has got umpteenth videos, umpteenth thumbnails. Matter of fact, we got one right here that we used to put up all the time. Rules, right? Use the rules. They will help you to stop being so emotional, right? If you go by the rules are there to be guidelines and make sure that you train. What's up? Hi, they were just saying they don't keep the link to log in. Get on the panel? Yeah. Okay, yep, I put it in there. I'll put it in there again. Thank you. Train more, trade less, right? All right, so Jen just peeped her head in and said that you guys are looking for another link. If you scroll back, it should be in there, but I will put it in there again so you don't have to do that. So give me 2 seconds. Let me type it in here. All right. Stream link. Let's cut and paste here. All right, there it is. Watch the impulsive entries. Mindset shift, right? If you even have to write it down on a piece of paper so that you can visually look at it and see, write in the word, I need a mindset shift in your journal when you feel yourself being triggered or feeling yourself wanting to jump in prematurely on trades, right? These are ways you can control your emotions, right? All right, let's get some interaction here. Hold on. Ange.
Hey, can you hear
How are
me?
Yes.
Awesome, cool. I'm
What do you think about
tired.
You tired? Are you tired? What's
Mom's
happening?
tired.
You know, you're putting in some long days.
I am, but the juice is worth the squeeze, right?
Yeah, it is. Just said that. It is. If you want the reward, you got to put it in.
Exactly. Exactly.
What do you think about tonight's topic? Trade.
I think it's great. I think everybody goes through it. Some of us just go through it at different times.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We're talking again tonight, gang, about breaking the emotional cycle. Breaking the cycle when you find yourself trading emotionally, either whether it's based off a trigger or, you know, something happening news-wise and you're reacting to it, but you haven't charted anything out. A lot of people lose money when FOC meetings happen, right? Because they go off of past experiences. They saw, oh, the last time this happened, SPY dropped like $10 and I missed out on it. So it's probably going to do that again today. Let me jump in with some puts, you know, and get themselves torn up because it may decide to go up, you know.
Right.
Can't have a bias. That's another thing that causes people to trade emotionally. They get so hyped up and euphoric on a bias, especially if an authoritative figure says it. Like, you know, say coach says, you know what? I'm looking at this and the indices are up and blah, 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 blah. And the market looks like it's going to be up. But he is one of the first people to tell you, don't go off a bias, though. Don't go off a bias, but people get it's going to be up. Yay. Yes. Get ready for calls. Get ready to buy shares. And then it starts plummeting and they're already in these calls, right? So it happens, you know, but you cannot let your emotions. The first thing you got to do is get control of that chart, right? Look at your charts, look at your fundamentals, and see what your technical analysis is telling you, and look what the rules are telling you to do. Is that how you did it, Ange, in the beginning? You didn't care about that own emotional stuff. You just went by the rules.
Now that I've been here for as long as it feels like I've been here, right? I don't even know, like a year, whatever, right? So I've hit two stages of life during this time period. I was full-time employee and day trader, right? And then I went from those two things to just being a day trader. Mm-hmm. So there's a few things that happen within there. One, discipline comes with what you are. For me, discipline comes down to what I am used to, what I'm willing to do to keep going, and the direction to which I'm going for. So whatever's in the future, right? So knowing my personality type for me should have been a red flag that when I no longer worked anymore, I needed to find something else that was not trading related to fill that time. That was not in this seat.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
Eric pointed out something today, and you know, I mean, we hear this a million times. You know, give yourself a break. Hearing him say that today, and I don't know if it's his soft, just intellectual voice or whatever the hell it was, but when he said that, I'm like, damn. I'm like, you're right.
Yeah.
I've been in this goddamn seat too long. I have. I'm in here all the time. This is like, I mean, if I could, I'd sleep in here. Like, I would, honestly. But like, he made some great points. So for me to be able to like look back and figure out where where things were right and where they went wrong, it really comes down to the fact that while it's really great to have really good discipline, you also got to know when to frickin' stop.
Yeah, you do.
You know, so that's the hard part, and that is a huge catalyst, I think, to where a lot of my challenges that I've been through now, where they started. It's because I spend way too much damn time thinking about it, having it like consume my life, all in all, just all of it, just get out of the damn seat.
You've heard us equate it to addiction.
Oh, I 100% agree with that.
Me too. It is an addiction. And if you have any type of addictive personality whatsoever,
Yep.
you're gonna take to it like a fish to water, and you're gonna be this will become your drug.
Yep.
You know? So Eric's right. When it's funny you brought that up. When Eric was saying that, I could hear it in his voice, right? He has obviously been through some days where he's like, did just what you just did. Like, whoa, woo, okay, hold on. Dude,
Yep.
step away.
Yep.
Step away. We've all been there. We've all been. Sometimes when you don't hear me in the afternoon, that's what I'm doing. I'm off hanging out with Jen in the bedroom. Hey, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Or I might pick up the bass and start playing it, for Christ's sake, or put on a movie just to get away from the screen for just for an hour or two. That hour and a half working out and yoga, I need that. I really do, because that helps to kind of ease what's happening throughout the day and get me away from it for a minute. Because if not, I would literally be sitting in this seat all day long.
Yeah, and I hate to think, and I actually would hate to like go back and really put numbers to how many hours I have sat in this seat in the last year. And while it's really great, there's caveats to that, right? Like when you want something so bad, right? And you're willing to do the work that needs to go into it. You're willing to put the time and effort and energy into it. Give it your all, literally. Literally give it your all. At some point you break.
Yeah.
And being able to identify that, unfortunately, in my case, my breaking point, my breaking point came as a tumbling effect of just roller coasters of emotion and just cold, dead, like just freezing in the very thing that I know how to do. I mean, I could sit here with my fingers on the buttons and I can sit here and trade my brains out. I could. But at some point in time during that time period, I stopped. For no reason. No, it doesn't make any sense, and I could go back and try to digest it and figure it out until one day like that, you wake up and you're like, what the hell are you doing? But yeah, I know it's a catalyst of the things, and breaking that cycle of, what is it, emotion? Is that what this was?
Yeah.
Right?
Breaking the cycle of emotional trading. Yeah.
I think there's a few things that I've written in my journal over the course of my last few months of just working through life in general. Is number one, just remembering not to act on anger in a trade. You get into a red trade, you get that flush of emotion, where your heart starts to beat, your palms start to get a little sweaty for no fucking reason. Like, pardon my French, but like, it just
identify.
I really feel, right? But that you get that flood of a feeling where you know what the hell you're doing. You know the right way to do it. You've sat through hours upon hours of training. You watch the shit fly by.
Right?
Hands on the buttons, and you're like, bye-bye, toodaloo, see you later. I'll catch the next run, whatever.
Right.
But then just not acting on the frustration, right, when you get into a red trade. Which can be challenging. I've noticed here the last 2 weeks, after I've really just dove in and taken a breath and just reminded myself that, it's not just about being a badass. It's about remembering why you do this in the first place. Right.
Mhm.
And I think that's important to remember your why. We go clear back to last year when we've talked about that, you know,
Yeah.
and how whys can shape shift and change.
Mhm.
But then something else that I have in my journal that I cover and that I've covered over the course of time too is just reminding myself that, so yes, I'm in futures. It's a little bit different. My margin account, I have a margin account there. So like I can get in and out as many times as I want to, but just remembering and reminding myself that I'm not married to the position,
Mhm.
right? And if I get in it wrong, because I've done this now multiple times where I'm in the wrong side of it and I'll just sit there and stare at it. Like it'll come around. No, it does not.
God, no, not the hopium beast.
Right? So
Oh.
like that happens. So just reminding myself, like the few things that I say to myself before I get in, you take a red trade, get the hell out of it, readjust, reconfigure, remind yourself you know what you're doing, and then make it, you know, look for a better setup. Don't marry the position, get the hell out of it, get back into the right one. Don't do that. You're an idiot. What are you doing? You know, and then Eric said something today, you know, about taking a break. I have found myself here in the last like couple weeks between trades, I give myself a break. I will sit here, I will take a deep breath,
Good.
I will like look around at all my clutter, you know, you know, my papers that stack up throughout the week, you know, I'll play with the pen, scroll, whatever, you know,
Yeah.
before I regroup and get back in instead of getting in and out, in and out, in and out all day long. I can't do that. And I don't want to sit here all day long either, right? We're not supposed to
You know
watch.
who else talks about that? Government cheese. We've
Oh,
heard
yeah.
him say that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
now we can kind of identify. I don't want to sit in here all day because he knows what happens when that happens.
And I thought he was
you lose
crazy,
yourself.
right? Like I'm like,
Yeah.
what? You don't want to sit in here?
Yeah.
Really? Why? Why not?
Yeah.
Oh, I know
now
why.
we get it.
I know why.
That lets you know he's been in that spot
Yeah.
and he figured that out. So he
Mhm.
goes to the park. He gets the hell away from the desk and goes to the park. Because if not, he will be glued to that chair. You know?
And I didn't have that before, right? So like when I got up in the morning before and I did pre-market, I was up at 2. I was
Mhm.
done at between 7:30 and 8 o'clock. I was done. I went to work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And you
even
were
though
able
it was
to
in my
walk away
office,
from it.
even though I was in the office, I
Mhm.
still had the Zoom on in my ear. I was away from it. I wasn't taking trades typically. I wasn't
Mhm.
taking trades. You know, I was somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, so great. It's such a great point, right? And yeah, and I balance is so important, and that is something I'm going to be working on for a really long time. Just because, you know, my kids are older now, they don't need me. You know, life is moving in different directions for me, so that's exciting too. You know, but then like now it's like, okay, well, I have a choice. I have a choice to sit in this seat. I don't have to. How am I going to pay my bills if I don't, right? But like, I don't have to. I choose to. So while I'm choosing to sit in this seat, I need to make the best of the time while I'm sitting in it. So if
Mhm.
that means from 6 o'clock at night until 10 o'clock at night, I'm trading futures, and that's my time, and I got to get my work done so that I can enjoy the next day, and I don't have to think about it again until I log in again at 6 o'clock the next night. So that's what I'm working on, right? Like now I am deciding for myself, this is my time frame. And Eric mentioned that too today, and I thought it was a great point as well. You know, only trade during a certain time frame. I know that. Don't y'all? Who does that? Well, I know I don't.
I know.
But I need to. And
Yeah,
it's
we
such
have it mapped out, but we
to be
don't follow it.
reminded. Right. And it's such a great point to be reminded. Mark is my hero, right? He may say I'm his hero. He's my hero. Not only did he teach me how to chart, but he also trades during that same time frame, and he is having success, right? So that's great. You know, and what that should tell everybody who's in futures is that if you pick a time that works best for you and how you manage your own time, you can make it work for you if that's
Yeah.
what works. So, for me, that works too. But the caveat to that is when I'm done, I need to not freaking open up Weeble until the next night when it's time to do it again. Like, I need to just not open that shit up. I need to, it needs to come up on my screen and say, "What are you doing?" in my mom's voice, mom's voice, right? Have her chirp at me and remind me, stop it.
Walk away.
Yeah. But
Maria, what are you thinking about what Anne's just saying? What are you thinking about what we're talking about?
Oh, I mean, I agree to all the extents. I would like to add, though, that it's not just the market that's addicting, but ADT is too, right? Like, because we're a family.
I think I'm more addicted to the group than trading.
Right. When that hurricane hit, I was like, well, what's going on with John? And how's Edge? And what? I wonder if Christina's okay. And you know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
there's as much. I mean, and there's many others. Like, don't, like, forgive me for, only mention a few. But I'm like, oh, I can't hear them all day. Like, I didn't know what to do with myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, and
yeah, for
and
sure.
so it's like, you have both parts, or you're afraid you're going to miss a tidbit. Like, oh my gosh, I know Nate spoke knowledge today that I missed. Or Smoto today was probably, like, you know what I mean? Like, and you're worried. You're afraid you missed, like, the one thing that would click and work for you. But guess what? Like, it will come again. Fortunately, we have new members that join all the time, and the same things get repeated enough to where if it doesn't click, enough people have to say the same things. Anyway, but I also wanted, Kyle had typed in the chat, did you find yourself going in heavier to try to maximize your time? And if so, how did you fight the urge?
I don't.
And if you're typing a response to that, I'm sorry, Ange.
No, you're fine. I don't. I don't. And again, it's because I'm in futures. So, like, you got two options in futures. You can do micros or minis. And so you don't have to go in heavier to do those trades. You can stick with one and just go in and out, in and out, in and out with one. You don't have to do more than that if you don't want to, right? To maximize. So I've never done that. If I were to go and maximize on anything, I would switch from the micros to the minis in futures. And it'd be still just one.
That's
Kyle, get out of my head. Because
So-
that's so funny that you said that, because I was thinking that this week. I'm like, okay, this is the week where Jen and I both get paid, so we're gonna, have a little extra cash. Maybe I should, in an effort to minimize my trading, go in a little heavier so that I can go ahead and make. I was thinking about that this week. And then the practical side said, no, there's things that you need to take care of. Do that. And whatever's left over, you set some of that aside, and then you play with what you have there,
Right.
But yeah, that's part of that addictive shit that we were just talking about. Last year, this time, I was taking all kinds of bill money and trading it.
But that's not, that's the risk. And so that's not managing your risk. Yeah, if you go in larger on trades, you're risking more, right? And if you put your bill money out there, you're risking your home or your roof.
Yeah, no shit. That was the point.
And your
yeah. Yeah. It's like it all becomes part of the addiction. It's just like drug addicts go out and they steal money. I was stealing money from our bill fund to trade, to get my fix. And the more money that came in, the more I traded. It was that, like, and I'm sitting in the chair all day long trying to trade. And if I lost, trying to make up for it with more and more money. Till literally, I had to stop. I had to walk away from it for a minute, even though I was still in the room and still in the group. You guys don't know how much of a support that you were for me during that time. And Jen, and she was so beautiful during that time. She was so understanding. She was upset and disappointed. Don't get me wrong, but she also was like, you know what, though? I know you'll come back and get your mind right, because you're too strong-minded to fall victim to this for any length of time. So I went through it for a minute, but thank God I'm the type of person that believes in meditation, that believes in, pulling yourself out of the abyss, because you're the only one that can do that. So when you're going through that emotional, you're the only one that can break the cycle, keeping in line with the theme. You're the only one that can break the cycle. You're the only one that can, to Eric Smoto's point, pull yourself up and go do something else for a couple hours. Because nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to make you do that but you.
I don't have the date written down in my journal because I do the aftermarket on different pages, but I have that you were talking about deep breathing and how that is a response. That's how we can respond to our emotional, like a heightened emotional state.
That's one of the physical things that you can do to break your physical cycle, especially when you find yourself emotional in a trade,
right?
You know what I mean? Let's break it down to a single trade. When you find yourself, first of all, get the hell out of the trade. To Ange's point, I'm sitting there and I'm watching it go the wrong. Yeah, get out of it. Okay, first and foremost, and then take a step back, get away from the screen and breathe deeply for like a good minute. That will reset your mind.
Journal. And 3 is journal it. Write it down. That's what mindfulness is, right? Like you're breathing, you're relaxing, and now you need to vent it out, and preferably, like, as we know, writing is actually like processes in the brain differently than just saying it or whatever, or typing it.
And journal that. When you step away, write that you did that. Write that you said, okay, you know what? Today I was having an emotional moment and I'm proud of myself. I actually took the time to step away and do some deep breathing. And guess what? It worked. I came back to trading a couple hours later. I made a couple of good trades or I left for the day. Write that down, because there's going to be times when you're going to be like, just like the guy on the thumbnail, and maybe flip through your journal and see, on this day, I stepped away and I breathed. I had deep breaths and I did this. And you're like, okay, yeah, shit, I forgot about that. Let me do that right now.
Well, I don't know who it was the other day. I don't remember. I don't remember what day it was. I don't remember who it was. Coach, Palm, somebody, whatever, mentioned. But don't forget to write about the good trades too. Which is important, because I didn't really do much of that and stuff, and I don't do every trade because I do so many since I scalp. But that's such a great point. Like when I take a really great trade, it's probably a good thing that nobody's around, because I'm in here hitting my desk, getting real excited, like hooting and hollering in here, swearing and all the things, because I'm excited, right? Like I know the setup. When I take the time to actually like watch the process, make sure it's where it needs to be, and that perfect execution. Of course I'm cheering, right? But I wasn't journaling about it, So like I need to get a stamp. I need to get a stamp that's like a fist bump. Every time I take a good trade, I'm breaking out my stamp and going,
hell yeah. And those you need to journal even more, because Coach made an extremely good point. What if you go through a slump?
Right. Mm-hmm. You got to get back to the good.
That you are creating your cheat code to get back in the zone.
Yeah.
And by the way, trading emotionally isn't just trading in a negative. It can also be trading when you're doing well. It goes both ways. We have emotions both ways, and we do need to document those. And by the way, I don't know if you've watched Younger, but anyway, if you haven't, and everything you just said was this woman's journal she broke out last night. It was hilarious. It was about her relationship, and she puts a gold star on the days that things are good and a red star when things are bad. And she's like, it's just terrible. Like, you see all these? Anyway, it's really funny. It's on Netflix. It's got
what's it called?
I can't remember her name.
Younger?
Okay. And the episodes are 22 minutes, and that's about my attention span as far as TV goes. So it's perfect.
Sweet. Got to check that out.
Yeah.
Oh, Hillary Duff. That's who it is.
Okay.
Hillary Duff. I remember her from
She's
back
not
in the
the main star, but she's in it. Anyway, it is entertaining, but she had this journal, and it was just funny that you said that. I'm sorry. It's what I go to sleep to, because it's only 22 minutes, and then I'm done. The other thing I was going to say, though, is that you have to have a plan, right? Like, I'm going to trade hot stocks today. and then all of a sudden something's going on and you're jumping into spy and you haven't even charted it, or you're jumping into Soxel and you didn't, you know what I mean? Like, so following your plan, having an entry and exit plan, which I'm still working on that exit plan thing, because I have removed my P&L. I will say that, and
That's good.
Has been good and bad. Like, I go back and I'm like, oh, well, if I'd gotten out here, I'd have had more money. But there's nothing in the trade said to get out, you know? And it could have gone the other way. And I've had other trades where it was like, oh, if I'd gotten out here, I would have, or, you know, if I'd thought I had it. Anyway, you know what I mean? So I'm just really trying to trade the trade right now.
Good question, D-Rock. He's down in the he's saying, question, when do you evaluate your journaling? Do you do it at the end of the day or after each trade?
I go back when I have questions. Like, I have journaled FOMC days before, you know what I mean? And so today I'm like, it's an FOMC day. How did those go? And I know in my journal I have them marked, you know, so I can go and look and see what happened. And it's choppy as hell every time before the meeting. And then during the meeting, it's, you know, all over the place. But, and then, yeah, it's basically when I'm having questions about what I'm doing that I go.
I do it next day, oddly enough. I don't go back over it same day, but I go over it the next day, like in the morning when I get up and it's 4:00. One of the first things I'm doing is looking at what I did the day before. What did I write down? What did I do right? What did I do wrong yesterday? You know what I mean? Because that way it kind of stays fresh. I remind myself of the things not to do today. So that's when I do it. I write it down, and I don't write every trade, because a lot of time I'm taking quick little scalps, but I'll write, you know, FOMC plus $10 or such and such and such plus 50 cents. And I'll just add them up that way. And then at the end, I will put, okay, today was good. I made X amount of trades and I'll just trade it calmly. I waited for the setups. And then the next day I'll go back and look at, okay, yeah, I did it right yesterday. Yeah. All right, let's keep on that track. And that helps me stay consistent in that zone.
Yeah, so something that I have on, so, and I journal, right? But I do have a Post-it that is on the front of my journal. And so every time I start a new journal, I take that Post-it off and I tape it to my new journal. And it says, someone once said, if you get on the wrong train, be sure to get off at the first stop. The longer you stay on, the more expensive the return trip will cost you.
Oh, wow.
And so that's my reminder every single day. I'll repeat it again. Someone once said, if you get on the wrong train, be sure to get off at the first stop. The longer you stay on, the more expensive the return trip is going to cost you.
Wow. That's
so
deep.
I have that. But you can apply that to anything, right? Anything in your life. It doesn't matter whether it's trading. It doesn't matter. You know, we're moderators, right? You apply that to being a moderator too, right? Because it's not for the faint of heart. You know, there's a lot of work that goes into being a moderator. And you've got to apply it to that. Apply it to your relationships. Apply it to your friendships. Apply it to the people that you surround yourself with. Because that can cost you. You know, so like it can go with anything, but I have that on the front of my journal. And it's my constant reminder, you know.
Dude, that needs to be framed. That needs to be on a t-shirt. That needs to be, I need to make a video about that. I mean, that is huge. I didn't even need to write that down because it resonated that deeply that I remember it. You know, I'm like, damn, that's freaking awesome.
Yep. And you can apply that to anything in your life. Absolutely anything.
Wow.
And I do. And you know, we're human beings, right? Like you fall off, you know, you'll still stay on the train too long and it'll turn around and bite you in the ass, you know, but you know, in every essence of that, the return trip definitely cost me.
People do that in relationships. They stay in something too long. They stay at a job too long. They stay in a trade too long. I mean, they stay in a way of thinking too long. You know what I mean? You can go internal with that shit, you know?
Or in a chair.
There you
at
go.
the desk, right? So one of my strategies for that is that I have a leg band and I have dumbbells by my desk. And so I am trying to like work out
Dude.
while you have a bike under there, right?
Jen and I both have one of those bikes under our desk.
Right. And I'm not saying it's equivalent to taking a break or walking away, but it does like get the blood flowing and keep things. And I'll get up and use the dumbbells. I'm not sitting in my chair using dumbbells. But anyway, that's another strategy. But
I'll do that.
I'm sorry, Ange.
When it gets quiet in the morning in the pre-market, I'll just lean back and I'll put my legs on there and I'll just start going. And if Nate's doing that's like, my knees are thanking me for that. We both got these for Christmas presents, and I have really been enjoying it and taking advantage of it. You know what I mean? I highly recommend that. If somebody, had to get yourself one of those under desk pedal thingies, because it will keep the blood going.
Okay, so Kyle says he has Bucko 504 says he has dumbbells, and Kyle says he has fidget spinners. I do also have fidget spinners, for sure.
I have a couple of them. I don't have them right here, but wow, that's a good idea too.
But I do think walking away is way more valuable as far as like my eyes hurt yesterday.
Shit, sometimes I'll play with the cat.
Apple is really slow. I'm not fussing at all. I love that about Apple. But like you are really looking at the screen like for a long time. And I wear contacts and I don't have the best vision with my contacts. And I'm like, last night I was like, oh, woo, these eyes are like, I was tired. My eyes hurt. And so I should have walked away, but then you're like, what if I miss that setup? Guess what? There'll be another one. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. Ange says, if you get on the wrong train, be sure to get off at the first stop. The longer you stay on, the more expensive your return
trip will be. Yeah.
Which I guess is the same thing, or very similar to if you find yourself in a hole, stop digging.
Absolutely.
And thanks for putting that in the chat. I'm sure everybody's going to be screenshotting that. I just did it.
Who said that? And do you remember?
I don't know if I used to be a really avid scroller before I found this, and I finally applied my time to something else, but I still scroll from time to time. So I don't know if I saw it scrolling and it just resonated with me. I don't know if I read it in a book. Somewhere along the line, I found it and it hit me, and whatever I was going through at the time. And it just resonated, and it's just something that's always stuck with me. And even I don't like to be on a pedestal, right? Like it's such a weird, I don't like it, right? I just don't. But it's these moments, right, where you can humble yourself and just wake up, and remember that there's, and I look at life this way too, like for some reason, somehow along the lines, there is a reason that I'm in the position that I'm in this moment in time, whether it's to, not just be a good trader, but to be a good person, and outside of everything else, strip me down to just bare me, right? And at the end of the day, that's who I am, I am a good person, right? Everything else that goes along with it, being a good friend, being a good employee, being a good trader, being just good in general, all of that,
mom, a good wife.
It's just a part of, the day to day. But to break it all away, for me, it's about, there's just something greater, right? There's a reason why I felt compelled to wake up one day and say, what the hell are you doing? Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I don't know if it was just a wake up point. I don't know if it's finally seeing the light again, of being in dark days. I don't know. But I felt compelled to come back and just refocus. I don't know. It's weird.
It was your internal
something.
It was your internal being that
Something.
that said, hey, let's take a turn here. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Let's try something different. A lot of people don't realize just how powerful they really are. And
Yeah.
it's weird because you actually have to be in solitude to discover that. It's not something that you can be around people. It's something that's within you that you have to, in moments of solitude, your voice will talk to you and it'll help you out. You're your own best friend, just like you're your own worst enemy. And a lot of times, if you just look within and just silence the noise, the answers will come to you. And sometimes it happens without us even realizing it. And I think that might have been what happened to you. Your
Yeah,
inner
it's
voice kind of
possible.
woke up and was like, hey, let me guide you here.
So one of
And I
my
think too,
favorite. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
oh, you're fine. So, and I think too, something else to add to that, everybody is, and we all know this, right? Because we've all go through these things, but we
Mhm.
never really know truly what people are going through. We have no idea, right?
Yeah.
We have no idea.
Nobody knew you were struggling till you put it out there and were transparent
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. But
And
all
it
it does
helps
is
to
it
get
takes
that out.
one person, right? It takes
Yeah.
one person, one phone call, one text message that says, hey, I see you. And those 3 words can completely change how a person feels about themselves,
Yeah.
any type of situation that they're in. Doesn't matter what it is, good, bad, or sideways, or whatever. I see you. And that's what it took. And it doesn't matter, right? Like all the bullshit and all the things, right, don't matter. But for
Yeah.
one person to say that makes all the difference. So I say that to everybody out there, right? And in the YouTube land, in the Zoom chats every day, like all the places you find all of us in, right? And it doesn't even have to be ADT. It could be personal life. It could be wherever. Just even saying those 3 words to someone, I see you.
Yeah.
And I've said it before. I've said it to people before when you can tell like their mannerisms, like you can tell that they're struggling. Something is deeply bringing somebody down. And it doesn't even matter. Don't even need to know what it is. Doesn't even matter, but that people see you.
Mm-hmm.
People hear you, right? Like I don't even have to physically see you, but just hear you, right? Makes all the difference. So the person that said this to me, it's very enlightening, right? Because this person doesn't know me from Adam, whatever, but it's a reminder because it's something that I say to people. And it took somebody saying it to me for me to hear it and for me then to turn around and believe it.
That's
And so
awesome.
that's what's important.
That is awesome.
So I was just gonna say, which is kind of dovetailing on your former comment, but so seasons are a part of nature, right? Like, but cycles are what we ourselves get stuck in, and it's up to us to break cycles, right? Like, we can be born into a cycle of poverty, or we can be born into a cycle of there's many cycles, that's endless, but seasons are normal and natural and occur in nature, and so it's about us to break the cycle, but also recognize the season that we're in and know that it's temporary, this too
Everything
shall
Yeah.
pass. You know what I mean? Cycles are you're on a hamster wheel and that is just, or whatever analogy you'd like, but it's not going to stop until you put the brakes on.
Stop it.
Right. But seasons, they come to an end, like it's going to get warm again. I promise everybody that's below freezing right now. But anyway, so that's kind of how I like to think about things. Like if I'm in like a cyclical trend in my life, what am I doing to perpetuate this cycle? Like, how am I keeping this thing turning? Because it's not everybody around me. Like the seasons are around me. The cycle is me. And so I got to stop this cycle and get on a different cycle that's actually going where I want to go. Or I don't know if that makes sense, but you know
Yeah,
what I
it
mean?
does.
My analogies, Dawn, but
It does, and you have to recognize when you're on that cycle of not going where you want to go, and shift your focus to where you actually want to go and start living from that place in the end, right?
Right.
Like we all want to be great traders, right? So if you've already gotten the knowledge under your belt, you know, and you've already made some good trades, start living from that place. I am a successful trader. I am a successful trader. Whether you really are, you know, making thousands of dollars or not, if you're making green trades, start believing in the fact that you're a good trader and buy into that. And you know, Nate is doing what he's doing, and Mark is doing what he's doing, Anne's doing what she's doing. You have the capability to be successful as well. So start living from that place and stop telling yourself you're this loser or you're not as good as them just because you're not your accounts. All that's bullshit, right? Only because you bought into that. Start buying into the fact that you're good at what you do, and just start acting as if. Acting as if is the shit. That is the end all be all. Because
it's
when you start acting
manifestation.
that way, yeah, exactly.
Right.
If you want it, start being it
Yeah.
already.
Like
Before
you said the other day, go drive that car that you're
Yeah.
gonna go test drive it because that's your car. Like make
Yep.
it
I'm a
make it a
successful
reality.
trader, so start thinking like successful traders think. Successful traders wait for proper setups.
Right.
Successful traders get out of losing trades, right? Start acting like a successful trader. You
They
know
follow
what
the
they
rules.
do because we have the rules laid out. That's coming from a successful trader. He gave you the handbook, damn it. You know?
And we have a millionaire in our group that says think like a billionaire. What would you do?
Yeah.
What
We have
would you do if you had $1 billion? And he's a millionaire. You know what I mean? So like
You
he's
watch them
manifesting
trade.
he's manifesting the billions. You know
Dude,
what I'm
you
saying?
watch them trade. You hear what they say in their thought processes. In the morning, you hear Government Cheese talk himself through thought processes when we can pull him out of his own head because sometimes he gets quiet. We
Oh,
don't
Billy. Oh, Billy.
but you can hear him talk through it. Start doing that just like he's doing it. You know, compare the process, right? And start thinking like how he thinks, and you'll trade that way. It works.
Right.
I
And
You
so
know?
if you're on a
agree.
cycle of crappy trades, what do you need to do to break the cycle? Because it's on you. You're the only one pushing the button. Right?
Absolutely.
It's not the market.
That's
It's
it.
not the stock you're trading. It's not your strat. It's you. It's literally you. So it's like,
Take control.
how do you break that cycle? And I mean, I can't say I haven't had my moment. Like I've had cycles. I've been there, you know. And I'm not going to tell you I won't. I won't tell you I haven't been there before, or I won't go there again. Like that's fine. It's recognition though. And then the only other thing I was going to say tonight was, yeah, follow the fucking rules. Coach put the
Big time.
rules. Coach has already done this for a lot of years, and he knows because he's been in cycles himself that he didn't like,
We
And
watch
that's
him
how-
go through cycles.
and that's how he created the rules. Yeah, sometimes Coach don't be following his rules, but you know what? He has a risk tolerance that's different than ours. I was
Yeah.
literally like hyperventilating yesterday at his P&L at one point. I'm like, oh my god,
Oh my God, right?
Yeah. And he talks himself through it.
But to him,
He talks himself through it.
he can make that back this afternoon. Like it's no biggie. You know, his risk tolerance is different.
Yeah.
And I respect that. And you just have to know, like, that's
He
not
was
where
down
I'm at.
20, he was down 20K, and within a matter of minutes, he had 5K of it back.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's on a whole nother level. But through the whole time, you didn't see him. Jesus Christ! Look what he was. Okay, yeah, I just lost 20K on that, right? But all right, and he kept his composure. Started trading. Okay, just made another 500. Made 500. All right, I just got 5,000 that back. Let's keep it moving. He just like
There's
fine.
no emotion. But
None.
actually, okay, so I said he didn't follow his own rules. He does. Those were within his limits of the 1 to 3% and the 40% of the trade. It just seemed like a whole hell of a lot to me, and I was like, "Oh, go, coach!" But he really does. He's so disciplined, and he's like a robot. I swear, he's like one of Elon's little robots. But but it's because he has been on many cycles where things didn't work out. Why do you think he's like, ask that man a question and see what comes out of it? Like, he has an answer, and if he doesn't, he'll figure it out and he'll help you work through it. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's
Because
where the
he's
came from.
been through so many cycles. And so if you can't get off your own cycle, if you can't break your own cycle, ask for help, but don't ask and then not take the advice, because that's real annoying. Sorry. Not sorry.
It's such a great point, though. And then something else, too, just to piggyback and kind of close up everything that I've said tonight, right? And Coach said something at the end of the mentorship call last Thursday that kind of hit me a little different, too. You know, and sometimes you have to hear things a million times before you actually hear it, right? And we hear that a lot as well. You know, he mentioned that, you know, it was the end of the call, and he said, after he went through my question that I had about scalping and stuff like that, he mentioned that to the group that he spent a lot of time with me during that call, which was like almost 15 minutes, going over strategy. And he said, the reason I spent this much time with you is, you know, because you are a moderator, is because now you can take this and you can share it with everybody. And I think in that moment, it reminded me what part of my purpose is, of why am I here? You know, why is it that I am a moderator? Why is it that I am a part of this group and I am a mentor and all the things, right? Like, why is that? And so that it hit me, you know, and it was a reminder to me that, you know, while I don't want to give more, right? Because I don't have the capacity to do any more, but like the skills that we can acquire here can be transplanted to Maria, to Dawn, to D-Rock, to Handy Homeowner, you know, to Kyle, Chris, you know, all the people. And it was a reminder for me that, you know what? He's right. You know, that is so true. You know, and while I'm not the type of person where I can sit on screen for 4 hours and entertain the entire world, because that's not my jam. So while that's not for me, what is for me is bringing forth a skill set that Coach has that's just incredible, right? And that he's taught so many people, but to be able to share it with the masses. And I believe that's what he said, is to be able to share it with the masses. So for me, that was like that match lit under my ass, so to speak, to just keep pushing through.
Yeah.
Because there are hundreds of thousands of people that are going to come through here over the course of time that are going to want that nugget, you know, and to experience that opportunity. And what better way to do that than to share it with the masses?
There you go.
You know?
And
Absolutely.
and I was like a little concerned that you were like, I don't know, like, why is Maria just sending me all these messages on Zoom, y'all? But listen, one of my favorite memories of you and I was Serve. I'm sorry, Gilly.
Serve.
But for real, because we traded that together. I mean, not together, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, you seen Serve? You're like, yeah. Oh my God. And I'm like, I've got it set at this. You know, like, it was fun. It was such a fun stock. But then I don't know what happened.
And you know what's
Oh
really
my God, I remember Serve. You
Right?
played the shit out of that, and over and over again. I remember that
for like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And I still have the notification because I'm too lazy to go into Webull and turn it off
For the volume?
volume. So like every few days or something, or once in a great while, it'll pop up and be like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. What's it at now? Anyway,
I have no idea. I
me
don't even. I
neither.
see the notification. I chuckle and I swipe.
Yeah, she
Right.
is completely
But-
out of hot stocks.
But I just want to say, like, that's like I learned a lot from you, like the notification for volume and you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and so for me, it was like, first of all, you're amazing, and you came here and you were a pretty fast learner, you know? And so, I mean, you learned faster than me, that's for sure. I mean, you excelled faster than I did or have. And I look up to you. You're a idol of sorts. And so you say you don't want to put yourself on a pedestal, and I'm not doing that to you. There's no expectation. Like, it's cool, but I do love spending time with you. Like, I love it when you're in the group and I can hear your voice, or you can, you know what I mean? Like,
I said the same thing. I missed her coming on the aftermarket
right.
more frequently, and she's back doing that now. So I'm loving it. You know what I mean?
In the pre-market.
Add something, you know. So yeah, we love your face.
For sure. And
On
like,
that note, I will not ever
JTG,
have a
don't-
soundboard. Let's go with that.
What
Oh,
happened?
Never have one of those little soundboard thingies.
ever.
I will not be doing no hoopty hoop holler bullshit.
What about the morning song? What about the morning
No,
song?
we are never doing that again,
You-
ever.
Will you download that?
No.
No, see, I just no. See,
Okay, well, you
I'm
could.
still an introvert, right? I'm still very much. I still have that mentality of being a bean counter introvert who sits in the back office with their glasses down to their nose, 10 key in my numbers and watching my shit, and then all of a sudden you hear a bitch slap. What? Who? Or you log in, right? God love Christina, right? And she's talking about cigarettes and ice cream, and then all of a sudden you hear a clap
Mostly cookie dough.
Or
Right.
conspiracy.
on her damn soundboard, right? Whew.
Or you hear Nate cussing out Christina.
Christina.
I have definitely turned on the Zoom and walked into some very interesting conversations. But that is part of like what wakes me up and gets me ready. But and you could download like some Metallica, or I mean,
Oh, it's too early in the morning for Metallica. Believe it or
Okay.
not, as I am shape-shifting
You have-
through life, my music taste, it has shifted along with me. It's the weirdest shit. I can't explain it. But while I still love my hard, heavy rock, something has happened. I don't know what
What
it
are you
is.
listening to now?
yeah,
Oh,
what's
I
up?
don't know.
No more 5-finger discount?
I love Five Finger Death Punch. I love all heavy metal, right? Heavy rock. But like it's shifted to I don't even know who these people are. Like I'd have to look at my Spotify, but it's very like low-key chill, you know, just kind of easy flow. Who the hell
Yeah, I feel
am
like
I?
your low key chill is probably still pretty high
No,
frequency.
no, it's
No?
actually
What, like, who are you listening to?
Yeah,
I'll
I'm gonna need
pull it up
examples.
and tell you. But like it's just real. I don't know what's happened to me. I cannot explain it. And I don't know, maybe it's I guess maybe part of it is like I'm going into the second half of my life, right? So that's how I'm treating 40. So
No.
this year I'll be 40, right? So I am eager, I'm excited. I want to do things differently. My second half of life. I want to see things, I want to do things. I don't want negativity. I don't want the bullshit. I just want peace.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I feel you.
And so I don't know if maybe my music taste just kind of went along with it and stuff, but like it's so different that I had to like create a list that's outside of my quote unquote normal because I can't mix the two.
Oh yeah, no, you can't go from here to here. Like no,
Why
And I
not?
even have it labeled low key.
low key.
Really?
And by the way, I resemble all the remarks you just said, but I'm 6 years into the second half of my life. That's not cool, Ange. I don't appreciate that.
I'm so excited. And believe it or not, and I've said this before, I have
I'm
looked
not-
forward to my 40s, my entire 30s. I have looked forward to this. I don't know why. I have no idea why. You know, and it's not that I'm wishing
Because they
away
say
time
life
or-
begins at 40, right? And there's a lot of truth to that. There's a whole lot that you look at differently, and you see a lot coming at you that you're able to handle now because you spent your whole up to this point learning and going through shit. So
I think you would really like the younger show because she's 40 and she pretends to be 26. It's hilarious.
That's awesome. I'm gonna come in tomorrow and be like, gonna be 26, bitches. No.
Bitches. It's
So
hilarious because she's so out of
Miles
touch.
Smith. What else?
Do what? Hold on, I gotta write these down. What we working with?
Miles Smith,
Mm.
Goldford. I'll list him in the chat.
I thought you were gonna go
Hoser,
Miles Davis, but okay.
I know, right? I thought she was going there.
Teddy Swins. Just a whole bunch of I don't know, man. I don't know what's happened to me. But you know what I do know? Whatever this is that's happening in this moment and whatever it is and how it's playing out, I fucking love it.
Good.
Right? I love
Embrace it. Don't resist it.
It's a breath of fresh air. And that to me is worth anything in gold. Period.
So I think it's softer. You know what I mean? Like it's a softer you.
Sure.
Like,
yeah.
And
I can see that.
And that's easier, honestly, because softer can just kind of go with the flow. Whereas when you're like hardened, you have to stay hardened. Like they say it's harder to be, it's more difficult to be, have negative energy. I'm not saying that you ever had that, but I just mean like than it is to have positive energy or whatever.
Yeah, it's called resistance. You don't want to resist your life. You want to go with it.
Right. Absolutely.
It
just
makes
like
it a
we
lot
should do
easier.
with trades, because we should not step in front of a bus.
That's right. Go with the trend.
Go with the trend. Yeah.
And on that note, we're going to go with Coach's rules and go ahead and wrap up.
She has to get this in there, but I think she'll have time. I'm going to need to write all these down.
Yeah, I just put them in the chat. You can take a picture of it.
Yeah, screenshot it.
Got you. Oh, okay. Now you're asking a lot.
Actually, let me do that too.
Pesky Brothers. Okay. Yeah, Shabuzi. I like the name. I'm writing that one down fast. Shabuzi. Okay. Interesting. I have a difficult time with music because my son dominates my stereo and he's 16. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm in here like listening to, I don't even know all the names, and y'all sure don't want to hear the lyrics, but, and I love beats. Like, I just like the beat to music, and not heavy beats, but just the beat. I mostly like R&B and rap, but, and so I'm like jamming, but then they'll say something. I'm like, ew, that's repulsive. So I don't have a lot of time to explore my own music tastes anymore. So I don't really know where they're at anymore.
Got to take that time. That's what we were talking about. Balance. Make time.
All right. Irish goodbye, guys. I got things to do.
All right. As we do too. Love both of you. Love everybody down there in the chat. I did make sure to put the tip jar down there if you guys want to donate. If you like tonight's show, throw something in there. If you can't afford it, don't worry about it. It's the thought that counts. And I love your faces. Don't forget, break the cycle. If you find yourself in a cycle where you're trading emotionally and it's not working out for you, of course, it's not supposed to. You got to break that cycle. And we gave you some ways to do it. Take deep breaths, get away from your computer, recognize your triggers, right? You can do this. All right.
Follow the rules.
Follow the rules, gang. So peace and blessings, Maria. Peace and blessings, everybody. And
love you.
Love you, baby girl. See you guys in the morning.
I got to go watch this.
Please follow the rules.
You got to go watch what?
This YouTube on feeding my kids nutritionally.
Okay. Yeah.
That Jen posted it with her nurse. That was all about nutritional. Yep. Mm-hmm,
yep. Watch a lot of those. Those are good.
Oh, I'm gonna be mind blown. Now I got to make a new grocery list. Okay. Love you.
Love you too. Have a good night, y'all.
Please follow the rules. Nobody go rogue. Some of the rules that we have to and live and die by in here is do not lose more than 1 to 3% of your total account value in any given day. Make sure you have stop losses on each and every trade, regardless of shares and or options. Make sure you guys are practicing small base hits. Don't go for home runs. Allow the runners to run and stop out the losers. If you're a new trader, make sure you are paper trading using a simulated trading system such as Webull or some of the other ones that are out there. If you are an expert trader, please make sure you also are being careful the first 3 minutes and the last 8 to 9 minutes of the day. Those are the absolute most volatile times in the entire market. Also, if you're a newer trader, please don't trade in the first 30 minutes or the last hour of the day. Those are the most dangerous times.